Black market artificial wombs, coming soon? Welcome back to School of Soul. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and today we're talking about what always happens when power gets centralized, black markets form. Because once artificial wombs are here, and once they're regulated, patented, licensed, and expensive, an underground version is guaranteed to appear. And when something becomes controlled at the top, it always becomes hacked at the bottom. That's where we're headed with artificial birth. A dual system. One for the elite, sanitized and approved, and one in the shadows. Experimental, unregulated, and already taking shape. Let's start with the basics. Full artificial womb technology is still considered experimental. Human trials have not been publicly approved, but when you combine what's already happening with synthetic embryos, ectogenesis, and remote monitoring systems, it's clear the framework is already built. You don't need a giant medical facility anymore. You need lab-grade nutrient fluids, programmable incubators, an embryo input system, and secure tracking data. And all of that is being reverse-engineered by independent labs, fringe researchers, and biohackers who want in before the gate gets locked. Let's be blunt. Wherever fertility is commodified, there will always be someone willing to break the rules. Offshore surrogacy rings already exist. Gender-selective IVF is already offered in countries where it's banned. Rogue CRISPR editing of embryos already happened. So do you really think black market womb pods won't follow? As soon as a mainstream artificial womb goes public, the bootleg version will surface in basements, warehouses, and private clinics that specialize in off-record reproduction. This won't be limited to the poor or desperate. This will be used by the rich who want custom results without scrutiny. It will be marketed to buyers who want to select genetic traits that aren't legally allowed. Taller, smarter, whiter, blonder. It will attract parents who want full control without the government knowing what they're making. It will attract criminals who want to clone assets, heirs, or even themselves. And it will attract people who simply don't trust the system to protect their privacy. And can you blame them? The rise of the black market artificial womb is also being fed by a movement that most people haven't heard of yet: DIY biohacking communities. These aren't cartoon villains. These are real people, often educated, well-funded, and philosophically driven to push past legal limitations. They're not just modifying their bodies, they're modifying biology. They believe that reproduction should be open source, that creating life should be decentralized. Some of them have built homemade CRISPR kits. Others are experimenting with synthetic embryo construction in home labs. And some are working on womb pod prototypes using repurposed NICU tech, nutrient infusion bags, and open-source fetal growth algorithms. You think it sounds insane until you realize it's already been done with mice. These biohackers aren't always malicious. Some genuinely believe they're liberating reproduction from institutional control. But the issue isn't intent. It's what happens when something as sacred as life becomes experimental code. What happens when wombs go open source and fetuses become side projects? What happens when a failed attempt isn't just a data loss, it's a dead child? The rise of underground artificial wombs isn't a hypothetical, it's a response to the inevitable corporatization of birth. Because once the legal version is only available to the wealthy, or only approved for desirable users, there will be an entire population locked out of creation. They'll be told they can't afford a child, or that their genes don't meet the standard. And when that day comes, they will turn to the black market, just like they already do for organs, for surrogacy, for unapproved procedures, for banned gene therapies. This isn't new. This is the next phase of what's already broken. Let's take it one step further. If artificial wombs go mainstream, governments will want control. That means licenses to reproduce, AI-scored evaluations of parental fitness, genetic screening to ensure no disease, no disorders, no undesirable traits. That's not science fiction. That's policy already being drafted under the banner of public health. And once that's in place, natural reproduction becomes a risk. Unauthorized pregnancy becomes criminalized. And unauthorized use of a pod? That becomes rebellion, which means the underground industry won't just be illegal, it'll be revolutionary. There's a future coming where building your own child will be an act of war against the system. And the underground clinics that operate in silence will become the only path for people who still want children their way. The irony? The same people trying to escape system control will be forced to risk their child's safety in order to retain freedom. That's the sick trade-off being created. And don't forget, wherever there's a black market, there's exploitation. This will not be utopia. This will be children grown in basements for trafficking, fetuses stolen for stem cell harvesting, clones commissioned as private slaves. There will be womb pods filled with embryos never meant to be loved, only sold. And if you think that sounds extreme, you haven't studied what's already happened in organ markets, child labor rings, or reproductive abuse in unregulated clinics across the world. This isn't paranoia. This is preparation. Because once artificial wombs exist, the only question is, who controls access? Who controls the rules? And what happens to those who don't qualify? This is the split. The official path will be sleek, glossy, and regulated. But beneath that system will grow a shadow network. Pods in warehouses, embryos in freezers, and children brought into the world by people who were never supposed to have them. So the next time someone tells you artificial wombs are safe, clean, and ethical, ask them, for who? Because when birth is taken from the body and turned into a service, the black market becomes the only place left for those who still believe creating life is a right, not a licensed privilege. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing, and no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones. The replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans. The merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.